Hi, I'm Georgie, and welcome back to the Ava Wellness podcast. If your wellness to-do list is never ending and you're overwhelmed by trends and information being thrown your way, then we are here to simplify it. So, if you're ready to own your health, keep listening. Guys, today we have a very, very inspirational woman, and she's glowing. She's glowing next to me, Natalie Ferrigno. Oh, sorry. I asked her before we sat down, and it's very Italian, and you say it very sexily, so I've just ruined it. You are a health coach, an actor, a presenter, a wellness advocate. You are a mother. You're an influencer. I could think of many, many words, but welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, you're so welcome. Thanks for coming. For those who don't know you, how would you introduce yourself? Give us your personal elevator pitch.
Well, I would describe myself as probably the queen of the multi-hyphenate career. Because I don't do one thing. So I've got many, many jobs. So I am, an actress, and that led me into modelling. I do presenting as well. Alongside all of that, in between auditions when I first started acting, I started working in hospitality for Manchester United. And that, it's kind of like, I was meant to drop it, but I love it so much I've never actually left. So I'm now back to 12 season doing that.
Awesome.
I am also a health coach.
Yeah.
What else do I do? Oh yeah, I'm a mum. That's probably the biggest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't get that.
Yeah, so I've got two sons who are 18 and 20 now, and I've raised them.
You have an 18-year-old?
Yeah, 20-year-old, yeah.
You're a spring chicken.
No.
What on earth? I'm looking at saying to you excuse me?
He's my matron.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Two boys. And I've raised them on my own since since they were babies, really. My youngest was 10 months old and my eldest was 2.5. So it's just been 3 of us since then. And I guess if you were to go on my Instagram, you'd see a lot of fitness stuff and a lot of mindset and motivation stuff. That is kind of my passion. My acting and the modelling and all that kind of thing is my work. But what I feel really, really passionate about is kind of exercise. Was a pivoting point that changed my whole life. And I found exercise at a point where I was at the lowest point in my life, and it completely sent my life on a completely different trajectory. And I think I kind of is at a point where I didn't know where I was going to go, and exercise saved me. That's probably sounds like it's a massive point, but it really did, I think. And then everything changed for the better. So now I'm a real advocate for sort of everything health and fitness, to be a massive positive in your life and a route for change. And just that I feel aging is a real sort of privilege, really. And the older I get, the more I feel like that.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I love how you said that exercises was your pivot of change. I relate hard to that.
Do you?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people try and overcomplicate. That's why we're here, try and overcomplicate how best to grow as a person or to heal from trauma or to get over certain barriers, when actually it's the basics of taking care of yourself. Movement can completely transform your life.
It is. Movement is, to me, absolutely everything. And it can be the simplest thing. Like if you're feeling that, get out and go on a walk.
Yeah.
And if you can fit in, only 15 minutes, do a lunch break and go and walk around the park and take your phone off and, take your AirPods out and just listen to nature and the difference that can make. That's the simplest stuff.
I love it.
But it's the endorphins it gives you. And it's that feeling that even if you don't feel like going to the gym, you go and you do it, and the way that you feel after it, you know that it was so worth it.
Yeah, massively.
I go so much more now, I'd say, for my mindset than what I do for the physical or the aesthetic benefits. 100%.
I love preach. And do you teach that to your sons? Obviously, 18 is a tricky age, I imagine, to listen to their mothers.
Whether it was
in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
But are they? Do you feel the power of how you've learned that? Is it being passed on? to them? Do they see
Yeah.
you thriving now?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely. I mean, like, I don't drink and they think that's weird. But I guess when I look back to like me being 18, I drank alcohol, and it's kind of like, I don't know, because I think more now, I'd say the younger generation, they're a lot more into wellness than we ever were. When I was 18, everybody drank. Everyone got drunk.
us too. Yeah.
Whereas now I think there is a bit of a change that younger people don't, there's a lot more people who are sober, but my sons are at the age where, you know, they have kind of more life in the sense that they do think it's a bit odd that I don't drink at all. But I think I've definitely passed on to them the eating habits. So I'm all quite kind of ancestral living. So I like cooking everything from scratch, whole foods, all that kind of thing. I mean, you know, they eat what I cook, but they like crisps and all the other sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, one of them's really like into the gym and he loves it, and then the other one's really into kind of like cycling and walking. So different kind of thing.
Active.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, they're kind of like, they know that if there's anything that they're unsure of, they'll always come to me and ask, because I'm like, we do this with it, we do take that supplement for that, and you do that, and we don't have anything not toxic in the bathroom. And
Oh gosh, you are a superwoman.
yeah,
You are a superwoman.
oh no.
And like, you must obviously, when I hear the phrase single mum or single parent, or you've raised two boys on your own, screams resilience to me. Did that take time to, you know, obviously it was a long time ago, but has that taken time to learn? How did you gain resilience? How did you gain strength from that?
It's just, sorry to open that up. So it's been the biggest learning curve. I think the thing that's made me the strongest. I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, but I think that was the turning point for me to completely change. So, I mean, when I say a single parent, they have a dad, and I've co-parented with him, but in the house, it's just been the three of us since they were really, really young. My husband left really unexpectedly. It's for me from so I'm half Italian, and quite a traditional Italian family where nobody had separated or divorced. So
They're very bonded, aren't they?
Yeah.
I like that culture.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. So for me, getting married was for life.
Yeah.
I never, ever, ever, even considered being a single parent. And I guess I probably held judgments at the time about what a single parent was, because I just never thought it would be me. And so then when it happened very, very out of the blue, and it was like the rug was ripped away from underneath me. Everything that I knew was certain, my lovely little suburban bubble I had, was just taken from me overnight. And I had nothing. And I had no husband. I had a 2.5-year-old and a 10-year-old to look after. I was on I think I was still on maternity leave at the time. I was working as an air hostess with Sherry's at the time. And there was no way I could go back because it was long haul and I couldn't cover the childcare. So I also had to take redundancy. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it was categorically the worst period of my life. I had no confidence because, my husband left me and I was left feeling I was pretty worthless. He would me, and then I had 2 kids. It was just it was a rock bottom.
Yeah.
I had nothing.
Yeah.
But what's when you rock bottom?
The only way is up.
Exactly.
I'm inspired already. No, it's ridiculous. I can't even imagine. I think we've all probably experienced breakups and unexpected lead from partners and just weird and wonderful, shocking events.
Yeah.
But having 2 kids to then put first before your needs is wild. I can't even imagine. I don't have kids yet, so I can't imagine it. How do you think your kids helped you through that because you had to put them first?
I think life only throws at you what you can handle. And
I'm going to write down my wall. I love that. Life only, okay, sorry.
I do believe it does. And I feel like everything always happens for a reason. And it obviously happened to me because I was somebody who could cope with that and used it as a bit of a tool to kind of put myself into a completely different headspace. So I would say I look and feel better than I did in my 40s than I ever did in my 20s. And I think that is purely because of what's happened to me, that forced me to sort of become the person that I am. I mean, some parts of it, like, I think I blocked out some of it because some of it was so difficult when you've got like a toddler and a baby and they're both ill, for example, when things like that happen and they're both vomiting in two separate beds and there's no one there. And yeah, I remember times sat on the floor crying, thinking, oh my God, I just wish someone else was here. I wish someone else was here to help. But there never was. So you just kind of go, right, if I can get through this, if I can cope with that, I can literally cope with anything that life throws at me.
You must feel unstoppable now.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, the very different phase, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it helps so much because now, like, obviously, I've moved into the acting and modelling world, and you know, I've faced with constant auditions, so it's like going for job interviews every single week, and I've become so thick-skinned and so used to like whatever you throw at me. Yeah, you know, I could cope with not getting this job, not getting that job, because I know that the next job's around the corner for me. I could cope with rejection. I can cope with loss. I can cope with anything because I just think back to that time and like I got through that. So if I got through that, I can get through anything else. And, you know, since then, my son, I always kind of knew that there was some sort of level of autism or something there. It took me a long time, but I got a diagnosis for my son completely on my own. And so then there was a whole other level of parenting that's involved with, you know, looking after a child with any sort of neurodivergency. But, you know, there's a whole different thing with that. And I think then that was the point when like the exercise came along and I was like, I need to go to the gym. I need to have an hour or 2 hours to myself and to just not be alone and to not kind of have the weight of responsibility of having to look after everything and everyone. And I would go there and it just put me in a different headspace. And then everything sort of started to change. And all my kind of wellness practices started from that point because I started to look at everything differently. So that's when I stopped drinking. That's when I started to look at like my nutrition differently. And I was like, hang on, like something that's been put on a supermarket shelf has been in a tin or a packet for absolutely years. It actually is that. Is that actually real food? And who's benefiting from this?
And everything then snowballs, right? When you're on this wellness journey.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
It's just like, because I think the feeling you get from doing something good for yourself and feeling that endorphins is addictive.
Yeah.
In the best possible way, right?
Really
so you
is.
want to keep finding those moments, things.
Yeah.
Just back to the acting. I used to act.
Did you?
Yeah, when I went to drama school and did it at school. And I looked back after a lost therapy, looked back at that season of my life and worked out that it was the escapism. Yes, I got into drama school, so I was obviously good. I don't do it anymore because of time and I would love to go one day back to it. But it takes you out of who you are, which sounds really sad, but I just really needed it. I think workouts do exactly the same. The escapism that you can just be somebody else when you're working out, or you don't have to act as a mum or act as Georgie or act as, you know, you're just in another space, I would say. That's what exercise then replaced. Right.
And it doesn't have to be any particular exercise. I think you get that from everything. So I'm like, first of all, is my absolute, you know, biggest thing that I love and adore. My passion will always be the gym. I absolutely love lifting weights and I will advocate lifting weights over anything else. So I started to play paddle recently and oh my God, like I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I'm a tennis girly through and through and I will not give in. I'm old school.
Try it.
I have tried it. I just can't give up on my letters betrayal.
See, I've got no like racket background at all. So
paddle's very social, isn't it?
So social. Yeah. So social. You might have having conversations with people that you would never have come across in real life. Ever. And so I started playing that and I come across all these different people and like so many of them are not going to the gym. And so many of them are perhaps people who are in midlife. And I'm like, oh my God, will you get in the gym? One, it's helping with your people. Yeah. And two, like you've got to think like as your body ages, what's so important is that your bones are going to get like brittle, muscle density. Isn't it? Yeah. You're more prone to like falls and breaking, you know, fractures and breaking bones and what have you. The only way that you'll prevent that, if you want to stay on the paddle court and you want to keep carrying on, you need to weight train.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily about being in a gym. It's about resistance training at home. It's in the park, at a gym, wherever where I love that. In the world that you're obviously, you've been a model as well. I want to touch on like the aesthetics part of fitness and modeling. In a world which I think is slowly coming back the other way, but we got to a point where everything was aesthetics based and everyone looks the same on Instagram and everyone aspires to these completely fake bodies or fake images, and it is toxic and dangerous. What are your thoughts on, you said you nailed it at the beginning of the podcast because you said I focus on how I feel before how I look, and I love that. I've been preaching that to clients for 14 years. What are your thoughts on the world that we live in and how fitness is a contributing factor to that?
I think this is the thing with social media that I try personally myself when I'm on social media to be as vulnerable and kind of like honest and open as possible. I also think because the world has become so filtered that if you're projecting an image of yourself that is so enhanced, there's also going to be people that see you in real life and they'll see the real you. Do you know what I mean? So then I think that then gets really clouded and merged, and then you want to become the version of you online that you want in real life, which affects your like whole perception of yourself. So I really worry about that, particularly for like the younger generation of girls and that kind of thing. But I think for me, what I don't like about the whole side of social media is the comparison is so massive, because you are looking at people that you would never ever have seen 20 or 30 years ago. Like, but I think back to like, say like dating when I was like 18, 19, the age that my sons are now, there was no dating apps. Nobody had a mobile phone. And the only people that you knew, the people who lived around your area. So you dated the local boy who lived in the next town or on the next street. Do you know what I mean? And that was all you knew. You were okay with that. Now you go on social media and you're seeing someone living the high life in Dubai. Or somebody else living in the States, and you're thinking, oh my God, I don't live like that. I don't have that house. I don't have this. I don't have that. And it's so bad. And I think we need to kind of really bring it back to, you know, people are people. And, I don't like this idea of kind of dismissing someone because the next person can want the next person will want. It's
fast consumption, isn't it? It's like the swipe culture is ridiculous. And it's, I believe, a big reason why grass is green is such a big issue. Because you can just go on very easily to the next person. There's not a real deeper connection.
I actually did a reel on this the other week actually, and I was saying that about the literally my phrase is like, my grass is greener because I don't cut anyone else's lawn. Because I think the biggest thing to do is so that you don't get involved in that comparison reel is I don't look at other people and I don't really see anybody else as my competition, because I think that's a really dangerous road to go down.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think my only competition is myself, or how I was 5 years or 10 years ago. I can't go back. I can only go forward. And so far it's worked out okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm not scared of aging at all. I don't hide my age.
Look at you.
I don't. I mean, but I think it's really dangerous to pit yourself against. And obviously I'm in an industry where, you know, it's quite looks based. And I'm comparing myself to, you know, the models that I work with, the actors that I work with, have they got that? And then just think, you just have to stop and just focus on you and what you're good at and what your talents are and what your positives are. And everyone else, your time will be for something. And if it's not that, then it wasn't meant for you. And I'm real believer in, you know, one door closed, another door opens. And the amount of things that have happened to me that I thought at the time, this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen to me. I'm never ever going to get through it. And now I look back and every single one of them has been like, it was meant to happen. And it was, you know,
I've got goosebumps. I couldn't agree more.
Like my husband leaving me.
Yeah.
I got a new job just before I found my dream home. And like, the job kind of meant that I got in the house and like literally 5 days after I moved in, I was made redundant. And I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to pay the mortgage? How is this happening to me? Ended up that the company was really toxic and the job was not for me. And it kind of repelled me back to be honest.
Yeah.
So now I look back and I think, oh my goodness, that happened.
Yeah.
So I whenever something bad happens, like when something happens with my sons and they think, oh God, it's awful, I always just go, bring it on.
Yeah.
Because there's a learning curve in everything, isn't there? There's a lesson in every single thing that goes wrong. If it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, then there's a lesson in it and something else will be learned instead.
Are you spiritual?
Very.
Yeah, I can tell. The universe puts things in our path for a reason, right?
100%.
And oh yeah, I've got goosebumps. Got lost my words. But yeah, no, I feel that. I think that's where spirituality comes in. I learned spirituality through trauma as well, through a very tough time. And actually, you then can look back and reflect, not that you want to look backwards, but reflect on these times happening and thinking, that's why it happened, because now I'm this person and I'm much stronger and I'm much clearer on what I don't want, what I do want, and where my life is going and my purpose and stuff like that. And I think it's so powerful.
Like I'm a real believer in, manifesting. And I'm not like somebody who thinks like, well, all you need to do is sort of think out the way that you want, and the universe will just bring you the next day. I don't believe that that's how any of counts in life. I think you've got to work for everything. But I'm a great believer in kind of visualization.
Yeah.
And thinking about what it is that you want and how it's going to happen. Because people have been doing it for years. Athletes do it, before they go for a run. They visualize, the starting line, the finish line, how they're going to feel. And I just think, well, there's definitely something in that. So I will think about the things that, that I want to bring into my life. And I think a lot of time when I've been like, it is 100% come through it in some way or another.
Quick pause before we dive back in. If you're looking to truly support your mind and body every day, then you need to check out the Arbor app. I created Arbor to give you round-the-clock access to expert-led workouts, holistic wellness tools, and real mindset support, all in one place. Whether you're starting out or if you're deep into your wellness journey, Arbor meets you where you're at. Download the app today, and we're giving you a 2-week free trial to start moving, breathing, and living better. Now back to the episode. I wanted to ask you, obviously you've built this wellness regime around your life. There's almost padding and it keeps you strong, resilient, and that's the way that you thrive. What are your non-negotiables? Obviously movement's one of them.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that just you can't go a day without because it just makes you feel amazing?
So many.
Oh, strap yourself in, guys.
There's too many. I feel like they take up far too much time, to be honest, but I kind of just have to fit them all in. So, there's loads in the morning. I don't know if you want me to cover my morning routine as in
go on.
Separate.
Yeah.
Love him. Okay, so when I get up first thing in the morning, first thing I do is I switch on a Joe Dispenza morning light manifestation guide. So I do that and I'll kind of do all these affirmations and think about how I want the day to go. And he's brilliant. He's really, really good at, he's saying that there's this window of time from sort of when you wake up and you kind of your brain is going from alpha to beta. And it's a really short time when you can switch to thinking in your brain and it will actually be effective. Because once you're fully awake, then, you can tell yourself, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, but it won't actually properly work because then, the other part of the brain goes, well, no, you're not actually that. So you have to catch yourself.
How interesting.
You have to catch yourself just as you're waking up.
Yeah.
And just as you're falling asleep. And that window is literally a few minutes. So when you get up in the morning, it's not getting up and checking your phone, it's tapping into that and thinking, how do I want my day to go? How do I want to feel today? What do I want today to look like? And think about that. And then you go through the day, and if you can remember during the day to think, oh, what did I say to myself this morning? And if you have a negative thought that comes into your head, you can switch it and think, no, that's who I am. This is who I am. This is how I think. This is how I'm going to feel good about myself. And then when you go to bed at night, go back to the same thing and think, how did I do today? And if you didn't do quite where you wanted to and get what you wanted to, you've got tomorrow to start again and do that again. But I think that's a really great exercise.
It's a lovely habit stack.
Yeah. So that's the absolute first thing.
Okay.
And I do. And then I go upstairs and I always have hot water with lemon, sea salt. That's my little natural electrolyte boost first thing. I wait an hour before I have my caffeine because I'm quite cortisol driven anyway.
God, I can't do that. I'm trying, but wow, I need it straight away. I wish I could be you.
I reckon you could. You could. I reckon you could. Do you do hot water lemon?
No, maybe I need like something in my system that's warming.
Yeah.
Coffee for me, it sounds bad. It's like a hug in a mug.
Oh no, I love my coffee.
It's just like, it's my happy place. And I have this rule in the morning that I never rush my coffee apart from when I'm running out the door to London. But I like to just have my coffee and have 10 minutes, no rushing, because once running a business kicks in, there's no moment. And maybe I should do that with lemon and salt.
Yes.
Yeah. And have that moment without coffee.
It's quite nice, actually. And I always remember my grandma always used to say, it's a shower on the inside. And I thought,
my God, that's such a lovely saying.
And I thought, that's so true. Because you wake up in the morning and everything is dry and dehydrated. It's like you need to kind of like water everything and oil everything up to get yourself ready, your body ready on the inside to be ready for the day. And then once it's done that, and once everything's like warmed up and hydrated, then you can go for the coffee.
Okay. So I'm going to try it.
I
know it first.
Yeah. Let me know how you get on with it.
I will.
I'm half Italian, so I have to say that my first coffee is espresso. Because that's how I've been like brought up, and that's very normal in our family.
Yeah.
So I'm an espresso girl first.
I'll never get on the bandwagon of that, but
that really,
no.
And then about half an hour after that, I do have my second coffee. My second coffee, though, I do have like an adaptogen coffee, so it's got like all the mushrooms in and everything that's kind of like, I know I need that for my kind of. So I've got ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD a couple of years ago. Which is no surprise because now a lot of things fall into place about higher, but I'm also like bang in perimenopause as well. So like they say that ADHD is at its absolute worst when you're in perimenopause. So like the brain fog is insane.
Your body's under attack.
Oh yeah, I'm so like, I can't remember things. I forget words and sentences. I forget. I lose things all the time. So for me, I do think I've just started having an adaptogen coffee every morning, and I feel like there's a bit of it just gives me the ability to kind of like raise a sharp focus.
Yeah.
So I have my adaptogen coffee, and then I have 4 supplements, of which there are many. I won't go through them all because there's so many, but basically I can't do that. Magnesium. I take saffron because so that's like a natural. They say that there's a natural alternative to Ritalin. Ritalin's the medication for ADHD.
Yeah.
So saffron is
interesting.
I do definitely think that makes a difference. Chlorella, omega-3, and then that's what I've just started taking recently because that's an anti-aging.
And have you seen a difference?
I've only started taking it for about the past couple of months, but yeah, I already feel
because it's NMN and then NAD, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I need one of them, but I do, but I don't know which one to do. But well, let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. And then I do all the other wellness wanky things that everyone else does, oil pulling and.
You do oil pulling?
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm scared because
why?
Just the taste of coconut oil.
Oh, that's a struggle if you don't like the taste of coconut oil.
No, I think no.
Okay.
But some people put peppermint or like fresh mint in their coconut oil to then do the oil pulling, and it just takes that like. So
peppermint inside
either drops, like peppermint. It's not syrup; it's got nothing but peppermint in it. It's also essential oil. Or some people pestle and mortar some mint leaves to a paste, put it in with the coconut oil. It does the same thing. Yeah, and there's a couple of brands actually that started selling mint flavored. Don't love that word, but oil pulling coconut oil. Yeah, so I might try that.
Okay, you should try that.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good alternative for you.
Sorry, everything in your routine, I'm like, I should try that. You continue. I should do that.
And then I do face yoga. I do so I've got a real thing at the moment about like fascia build up and all that kind of thing. So I do a lot of like massaging. I've got a course on massage my chest.
Okay.
And I do my face as well. And then I do all the face yoga because I don't know, late 40s at the end of the day. So anything that to do to prevent
coming in.
Yeah, I do. But apparently it's also like it's really good for you, and it also feels amazing. It's like one of them is like literally get your head So
And what the osteo does that. Yeah. It's amazing. The back of the skull. How do you get your jawline like that at your age?
I do.
It's just genetics, is it? There's no procedures.
No. Well, I mean, like I say, I've just started the face yoga, so I want to keep this. So I do it's amazing like this. Routine that goes like that and like off, and then you hold your ear and you lift it up.
Okay.
I reckon there's something, if you did that every day, surely that must make a difference.
Yeah. It might. What are those things called?
Oh,
Gua shas.
yeah.
I did start with that. Felt really good, and then my friend used it and before her wedding, and she was like, "Georgie, my skin is sagging from it." And I stopped because I got cut off.
Really?
Yeah, because if you drag the skin obviously too much, it's the elastin that loosens.
Because it's the muscle underneath. That's what you're trying to work. And you say that as you start to get older, that those muscles get weaker, and you have to keep kind of getting into that's the thing. Yeah. But I guess, like you say, the skin's over the top, so you've got to be careful that you're not
dragging too much, but facelift to fool, I suppose.
Yes.
All right, that's amazing. Okay, I've taken away 5 or 6 things I should be adding to my morning routine. We love to finish this podcast with you giving your number one well-being or wellness tip to the next guest. And that could be anything from, mine is always put on your favorite song and you're feeling a bit low, dance to it like a mad woman in your kitchen. And it's honestly, that heals me every time. That's my tip. So it could be anything.
Do you know what? This is a really simple one. And it's one that I often teach my health coaching clients. And it's, if you're ever having a bad day, somebody says something to you that's made you feel rubbish, then my top tip to always do is, off the top of your head, get your phone out and think of the first 5 most positive words that you can think to describe yourself. Or a compliment that somebody's given you. And if you think, oh, that's maybe been really good, write it down, put it in your phone, and keep that list in your phone. And every time somebody makes you feel rubbish, you go back to that list and you look at that list and you go, that's who I am. That's actually who I am. And I think it's such a simple but such a lovely exercise.
Yeah.
You want you to do that?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So looking in the eyes, tell me you do 5 minutes. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thanks for coming all the way. Where can people find you? We'll put it on. I can't speak. We'll put it in the show notes as well. But where can people find you?
But I would just say to head to my Instagram. So Natalie Ferrigno.
Okay.
And that's everything. All my teamwork and stuff. All the mindset, every single stuff.
Brilliant. Well, there's definitely a part 2 to this because I didn't even get into it.
I know. It's something I didn't cover.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that. It's definitely a part 2.
100%.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go check out Natalie.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Thank you.